Welcome to another episode of the Bureau of Technology Report. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about...
Greetings, this is Mr. Bureau, and in this episode, we are going to be working with rigs and warping on an object in Adobe Animate. So, what do we need to look at, first of all, is setting up and getting the object that we want to bring in. I'm going to bring in an elephant. It's nice and easy to work with, okay? And then what I want to do is start setting up the warping tool. Now, how do I do that? Well, you're going to look over here on the left-hand side, and you're going to look for the pin. Okay, it looks like a push pin. And click on that tool, and this is our warping tool, okay? Now, what does this mean? It means that it allows me to give this object flexibility, meaning I can make it move within different parameters of it. Now, I actually have to set up the pieces to do this. So the easiest way is start with the center or near center. Now, the cool part is I can move the object around. If I double click on an object here, it would allow me to go in and edit the actual image. But to start with, I have a center point for my object to be moved, okay? Once I've got my center point or near center point, I'm going to pick the objects that I want to move within the object itself. So in this case, I want the head to be able to shift. I want the trunk to shift. I'm going to have the tail, both back legs and front legs. And as you see from my center point, I drew a line, and then I'll click once to an object. So if I start here, I click here, I draw it here. I want to use that as my center. So I'm going to erase that too with that one. So, because what I want to be able to do is click here, draw to here, click once, and then bring it back here, double click, and have it release. And it'll connect too. That way the ear flap would work. Okay? And that's what I want to be able to do. And that's all I need. So I'm going to double click and let it go back to my drawing. Now if I want to move one of these objects, if I want to move the trunk, simply click it up, and as you see, it bends the trunk. Now I can move this back and forth to squish it or make it elongate. And I can do this with any part of the warp that I want to do. If I want the front leg to move, to give it the appearance of running, then I do that. And I can do that with my back legs, I can do it with the tail, okay? If I really wanted to make the ear move back and forth, I can do that. So now we're going to get into getting the motion or appearance of motion and making it look like the legs are moving, okay? And then I say, okay, I want them to move forward. So after my set another keyframe after 5 or 10 frames, okay, I change its position. Now what I did here, what you see in the background is the original position of the elephant now and the change position. So what I did is added onion skin. And what onion skin does, if you see here down on the timeline, there's 2 frames before and 2 frames after right up in here. And what it does is it shows you what the frames before look like, and then you can move forward going from there, so you don't go, oh yeah, where was it exactly positioned? How was it positioned? So if I want to bring the trunk down again, just slightly, I could do that. I'm going to bring it all the way down, and then curl it up a little bit. You know, and then if we really get crazy and we start putting food out there, we can make it look like the elephant is eating. So we can add sound effects to this, but we'll do that later. If that, in a nutshell, is doing a warping, today you're going to be working on it. Good luck. I'm Mr. Gates.